Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And it's Labor Day up here in Canada, which means we don't work. So there you have it. But as a teacher, the day after Labor Day in most provinces is the day we start teaching. I know in America you start in August, early to mid-August some of you, but you also are done school at the in the middle of May or the end of May. We go right to the end of June, so it kind of balances out. You get your holidays a little sooner. We're a little bit more September to June up here. But all that aside, this is going to be a multi-part video, so strap in and get ready for some fun. You can see I am now highlighting the North Africa Axis and Allies game that came out. Renegade Games put this out just... got it about 3 weeks or a month ago, and I know many of you are very interested in the game, and I find it to be an excellent game. I know my first two videos, I was like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Because I just dove right in and thought, hey, I'm going to give this a try. Got a lot of things wrong, but by the third game, I got the rules correct, but I didn't do some of the tactics as well as they should have been employed, which may have eked out a victory for the Allies. And had I done those tactics, namely bombing Malta into the Stone Age, the Axis may have secured a victory. But neither here nor there, we're on moving forward. And what I'm doing today is I'm going to be showing you the historical board gaming new piece list for North Africa, for the Axis and Allies North Africa game. So what they've done over there at Historical Board Gaming, and you can buy all of this stuff. Oh, sorry for the rattle. Trying to go smoothly here. What they have done is they have taken all of the units that are part of the North Africa game, and they have made their own sculpts. And I'm just going to go through there and show you some of the options you could do. Now, you can just go online and purchase these as full sets. So here you can see I got a pile of, this is from the original game, and then the gray stuff here, I also got a little extra bag of Junkers 88s. Then you have the Germans. So you can see that they give you plenty of stuff. They in fact give you more units than you're allowed to use in the game. So that will allow for, if you want to do some expanded scenarios, longer time frame, what have you, or you can just add them to your current grouping of historical board gaming pieces. Okay, totally up to you. So we're going to start with the infantry, and I'm just going to show these to you one at a time. And I'm really hoping that the, yeah, look at that, comes in nice. So you can see fairly similar sculpts here, but the German unit from HBG on the right here has a cloth cap instead of the Stahlhelm. Okay, so a little bit more North African-y. And here we have the, pardon me, the Panzer Grenadiers here. So this is the, oh man, I can't even focus. This is the 251, and this is the standard Axis and Allies sculpt for those. So either way, it's your half tracks, right? You can see that the HBG one is a little bit more detail to it, and you can see the gun and the seating for the other guys. Closed top for the out-of-box game. The artillery for the Germans. All right, so essentially what HBG did, but they went with a little bit more detailed sculpt. They're 105. The 105 howitzers, okay? So very similar look, but just the longer barrel. And again, it's a little bit bigger of a sculpt, as you can see. Just a little, not much, but a little bit bigger. Okay. For the 88s, now in this game, the 88s, in the out-of-box rules, the 88s are dual purpose. They do anti-aircraft duty as well as anti-tank. So with the HBG offering, the 88 is in the anti-tank position, so you may want to hang on to these or use these for strictly anti-air defense, and then utilize these for the anti-tank. or you can just use the same. Because they are dual purpose, you probably just want to go with one sculpt and then remember that they can fire at both. The Scout cars, these are both the takes on the Puma, and you can see they're both with the 8 wheels. And oh, I forget the size of the cannon on the Puma. Oh, can't remember. Oh, somebody can educate me. Forgot to look that up. I wanna say they actually fitted them with like a 50 or maybe even a 75 millimeter. I know they had a lot of punch, lots and lots of punch. Okay, so then one of the big changes is going from, so you can see this is kind of a Panzer IV look to it, and then it's a Panzer III from HBG. You can see on this side. It's a bit of a different, and the other thing is that it's easier to see the detail with the gray than with the black, if that's a big deal to you. Okay, there you go there. And also included in the game, of course, they threw in a few of these, the big tigers, or the panthers, pardon me. So there you go. Go have some fun with those. Actually, that is a tiger.
Well, duh.
Ah. All right, so here we go. The Messerschmitts, the 109s. Okay. So these are the 109. Boy, I gotta take a look here. So you can just see that it's got that clipped wing of the 109 as opposed to the more rounded. Which again, all the Axis and Allies games, you've seen those black fighters before. Now, the thing about this game is that the German tacticals aren't bombers; they're actually like tacticals, right? And they brought in the Stuka variant. I can't see it too well. All right, and then for HBG, they brought in the Junkers, the 88s. Okay. So the big twin engine ones. Now, the rules are different though. So they treat in the rules as though it's one of these, because it doesn't have the range or the punch that the Italian bombers have. So just keep that in mind as you're playing. You got to give these 88s kind of lesser stats. And over here, you've got your typical Axis and Allies submarine, and then for HBG they printed off some Type 21s, if I can get it to focus. There it goes. Some Type 21s. Okay, and again, just a little easier to see some detail in there, but there you have it. And then the trucks, there you go. Just your Opel trucks from HBG, and yeah, a little bit more of a generic truck. I'm not sure if they were going for something with the out-of-box one, but these are definitely the Opel mass-produced. I think they were pretty much like a deuce and a half. Anybody knows, let me know. Maybe I should have looked up some of these stats. Okay. So that's for the out-of-box German. So the big difference, of course, is they went from black to gray. Okay. Now, for the Italians, so now we can see the two piles of Italians. The pile at the top of the screen is the out-of-box with the roundels. And then this is what HBG printed out. So we'll start with the anti-aircraft guns. Hey, you know what? Either way, these are both great-looking sculpts. I like both of these. The HBG one is a little larger and but they both have the really nice. I really like these. They both have a lot of detail to them. The HBG one's just a little bit larger. And then for the Italians here, you get your soldiers, okay, and yeah, I think they're fairly similar, but again, a little bit more detail. And you can see, as typical with all the Axis and Allies, they're a little shinier, and the ones that HBG puts out are a little bit more matte. and so not quite as shiny, and gives you that kind of a flatter, dusty look to them. The artillery, this is the big 90mm cannons here. So this is out of box, and then in this instance the HBG one is considerably smaller, and yeah, just a lot smaller, a lot more detail again. But hey, if you like your artillery big, there you go, and if you smaller is good, there you go. Whoop. All right. And the tanks, of course, this is always a bone of contention with people about the tank. They did the M1542s, okay, for the HBG sculpt. Okay, so they are very similar to out of box. Again, no shine, and they're just a little bit smaller and more detail on the bottom here. I think that's just off the tree. Yeah. So there you go. A little smaller. The artillery and the tanks are a little bit smaller. And, which takes us out to the scout car. And this is the Viberti, I think, scout car, if memory serves. Okay, that the HBG put out. So you can see this. It's got the little platform there. It's got some guns. Again, this is the Puma. So this is identical to the German sculpt, just in brown. And this one here is more of the what the Italians used to get their guys around. Again, the Italians weren't huge ongoing long-range desert group scouting missions. They did them. Of course they did them, because if you didn't, then you get caught with your pants down, as it were. But they weren't quite as proficient at it as, say, the British were. Here we got the trucks. I believe they use the Fiat. Okay, so a bit more of a flat face. So it is interesting. The Italian trucks look a little bit more like the German trucks that the HBG put out, and then the HBG trucks for the HBG trucks for the Italians look, well, no, I guess not too much like the Germans. So there you have it. So that's the difference there between those two. All right, moving right along. Try to pick this up a little bit. Of course, you got the C202. Okay, little fighters. Okay, and they're very, again, similar. Not a lot of difference. The HBG one is a little bit smaller, just marginally smaller. And then we are on to the I think these are the SM81s that the HBG made, and then these are the out of box. Again, the very typical ANA medium bomber for the Italians, and they're both twin engine though, right? And yeah, I think they're both good looking. The HBG one is just marginally larger. Destroyers. Not a ton of difference in the destroyers. These are the Soldati, I think. And I think they're, yeah. So from the top, not much difference at all. The profile, a little bit more. You can see there a nice superstructure there. Do destroyers have superstructures? Anyway, they're a little bit more detailed to the HBG ones. And for the units, last but not least, we have the submarines. And these again are the typical submarines for the Italians in most ANA games. And then with the HBG ones, come on, let's focus now. Don't be shy. Why are you not focusing now? All right, well, the HBG submarines are, these are the Bryn class, I believe, submarines. So you can see they're very, very different. A lot wider across the beam there. If that's the right terminology, I was never a sailor. All right. And the last thing we're going to point out are the specialty tokens. in the game, and these are the mines. So as we look here at the mines, oh, getting a little shadow there. I'll just zoom in. Okay, so you got the mines. So out of box are right here. So these are German, then you flip it over, you can do the Italians. They work fine. And there's a certain number of each. So the Allies have some, and the Axis have some. The mines, sea mines here, so you got German, and you get Italian naval mines, and you get 10 of each. And then for the land mines, you get 6 of each. And you do use far more of these, so you might chip these as you're putting them on. They fit nicely on a chip, not a problem, but you can see they just look a little bit more like mines. There you go. And then these ones on the bottom are just flat on the bottom. So there you go. All right, so that is all of that. There's an American set, and as it stands right now, the German set, you get 81 pieces. The Italians, you get 70, and the Americans, you get 61. And I believe there's a British set coming up as well. But this is the only one I have right now, is for the Axis. So hopefully you found that informative if you were thinking of purchasing them. This is just an optional thing HBG is providing. No aspersions being cast on what was put out by Renegade Games. We all know how people like to stylize their games. They like to make sure everything looks however they want it to look, and there you go. And it's just an option for people to try. So you can absolutely do that. So that's the first part of this video. The second part I can actually do right now as well. So Doug over at Historical Board Gaming, he's been a huge supporter of my channel since, well, like in the first year or two. He found out what I was doing, and I think Young Grasshopper actually put in a shout out to Doug about my channel and kind of got me on the map there. And Doug's just been a great supporter here for the Hilltop Pillbox. Lots and lots of great things he's done for the channel. So thank you very much, Doug. Very much appreciate your support and allowing me to kind of climb the ladder. It's been a while that I've been doing this, but now I'm seeing some growth in the channel, and it's fantastic. So what Doug did for the different YouTube channels that promote historical board gaming and the gaming community in general, he designed and then printed and sent out a couple of these bad boys. So these are dice trays. And these are the ones that just snap together. You've seen them. They come flat, and then you just snap them together, and you got yourself a dice tray. And he did this, and this is great. I got a couple of these, so I'll be using these at my next game. And thank you very much, Doug. That looks amazing. That's exactly what I would have likely done for the thing. That gun is looking pretty menacing. So thank you very much, Doug. And this will get a lot of play, no doubt, and those dice better behave once they get in there. All right, folks, we are going to set up something here and get on with the next portion of our programming. Stay tuned. All right, part 2 of this is just a shout out to Sky Marshall. He and I have known each other for about 5 years now, and we were going to get together way back in 2020 for our Global War 36. The first tournament, but we all know what got in the way of that. So he is a very generous guy. Generous. He sent me a lot of stuff. All the pretty stuff on my board, that's from Sky Marshall. He's such a great guy living up there in Prince George, PG as we say up here in Canada. And just want to give him a little shout out. He sent me this a couple of years ago now. And the Africa game has given it much more option to be used very, very seamlessly. So he sent me a whole bunch of stuff here that's all painted up in the Africa Corps colors. And you know, the artillery guys there. The 88s are all painted up as well. right, ready to go. I got the Tigers over here. He's even got little factories. Don't use these in the North Africa game, but obviously I can use them in other games. So just little factories and cavalry units. Whoops, come here, you. He lived. I don't have to shoot him. And then some militia, of course, for 36. Marines, mountain infantry, and the like, even trucks. So, you know, these trucks can be used in my North Africa game. And the little Panzer IIIs are here, right? Just great. And, of course, the 251s are here as well. So, Sky Marshal, just a shout out to you, sir, just for the great support of the channel. And just what a great guy.
Oh, what a nice guy.
Well, I wish I had the painting abilities and the decorating abilities. I just can't. Well, the eyes are starting to go, right? So,
Man, are you kidding me?
but I just can't do that great detail. So I'm so thankful. And just a shout out there, Sky Marshal. If you're not subbed to Sky Marshal, you gotta sub to Sky Marshal right away. He's got some of the best layouts of games, all the extras, all the trimmings, and a board, a table that is second to none. I have never seen a table like it. Been able to play on it a few times, and it's just amazing. So get over there, Sky Marshal, check out his YouTube channel, and make sure you subscribe. He's a good man, and you'll want to stay in tune with everything he does over there. All right, on to the next portion of our program. All right, so because I have had the absolute pleasure and the blessing of punching above 3,500 subs, decided to do another Who Will Win contest. And this contest has some neat stuff I'm giving away here, but the grand prize, unless you want the stuff I'm giving away, but I think you're going to want the grand prize. The grand prize is a $100 gift certificate to Historical Board Gaming.
I'm rich! I'm wealthy! Yahoo!
Obviously sponsored by Doug. He put that up for this very thing. So if you want a shot at that, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and that you put your guess in for this Who Will Win contest. If you haven't done a Who Will Win contest before, I'm just going to put this out here like this and show you what we do. So I get a whole bunch of little pieces out here, and I've made this one a little smaller because sometimes with the larger ones crazy things happen. Crazy can happen at any time, but this is what we're going to go for. So we've had the Italians and the Germans part ways. The honeymoon's over. There's trouble in paradise, and they're fighting each other. So we have the Germans fighting the Italians. On the left side, you got the Germans. You got their strength. You got their pips. So the Germans, as you can see at the bottom, have 28 units with 98 pips to start. Now, the Italians, if you look at it, they've got 32 units, so just 4 more units. But they also have the X factor. And the X factor are the 4 AA or AAA, depending on who you are, and the 4 mines. And I've also used, you'll see the unsupported infantry is 9 times 2, because I am using the reference chart from Axis and Allies North Africa. So if you look at the infantry, the very top line, they cost only 2, but they attack a 2, defend a 2. Okay, so I've used their numbers, and this is on a D10 system, D10, okay? And so you can see the scout cars, the artillery. The Italians, the one Achilles heel they have in this game is they have nothing that really punches hard on offense except the bombers, and they're pretty expensive. And they just basically, they just don't have a lot of punch. But they've got lots of infantry because it's only $2 a pop. Now the other thing the Italians have going for them here, the X factor, is the mines. And as you can see, there's mines stacked out front. There's 4 mines. And the way they work in the game is you just roll 3 dice for each of the mines. And for every 3 or less that you get, that is going to hold back German units. The German will choose which units. So that's what's going to start the game, is a roll of 12 dice. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So we're going to have 12 dice. We're going to roll, and out of that, some of these German units, it'll ostensibly be the unsupported infantry, will not be making the battle. Then, of course, you got the AAA, or the anti-aircraft gun. There are 4 German planes, and there are 4 AA. They each shoot 3 times to a maximum of the number of planes, so they'll have 4 shots total at these 4, and if they get any hits, I will go fighter, 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 and the last one will be bomber. Okay. The final thing I'll point out on this is that the Tiger tank is not in the game. I just put one in here because of the sculpt from HBG, so and I gave it a 7. Okay, so it'll be rolling at a 7, and the bomber here is actually rolling at a 5, so I did that for space. Okay, and actually the bomber should be with the tanks, because the tanks also roll at a 5. And you think, oh, I thought they rolled at a 6. But again, it's a D10 system, so it's still a 50% chance of hitting. So, for one last look here, and you can pause it before you make your guess. There you go. That's the guess. Or the information you need to make your guess. Go ahead and pause it, and then you can make an intelligent guess. Now you're saying, what's an intelligent guess? Well, this is an intelligent guess. So you're going to make a guess, you're going to identify the winning side and what is exactly remaining after the combat is done. So if you say Germany's going to win, don't say 4 tanks. Why? Well, because there's a bunch of tanks and there's a Tiger. So make sure you include the Tiger. Or you can just say, if you're just going to say 1 tank, make sure you say 1 Tiger. Otherwise your guess is not valid. So now here are the contest rules. Okay, the contest rules are, I've changed it up this time. I've changed it up. So if you get lucky with the guess, it doesn't mean you're the winner. Okay, so each person gets 1 guess, and by doing so, you enter the contest once. So I'll enter your name. Regardless of the outcome of the battle, you will have your name entered into the draws. The top guess will receive an extra 7 entries. Second place gets an extra 5. Third gets an extra 3. And all names will be placed on a list in random order. Most appropriate dice system will be used. So if I've got 50 people, I'll use a D10, roll it 5 times. Good luck and may the dice be with you. So you know what the top prize is. The top prize, of course, is the $100 gift certificate from HBG. And the secondary prize, I'm just going to see if I can get my camera. Oh, why is it being so persnickety? Okay, well, it's being persnickety, so I'm just going to do this. This is the second place prize. Okay, so there's 2 prizes.
It's party time!
And this could be the one you want, though. You might say, oh, you know what, I'd rather have this. But I doubt it, because you could buy all, well, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. So here we've got a set of 10 coasters. All right, and they're all the double-sided coasters from HBG, so you can pick these up, and they're good to put your drinks on by the board so you don't wreck your board or what have you, or that handy-dandy coffee table. And then we also have the big bag of British units and a bunch of Japanese transports, destroyers, and then there's a couple of mechs or trucks, whatever you want to call them. There's some subs in there, a couple artillery pieces, and then a whole whack of British units, including some of the blonde units here, which are actually quite nice. And even some old school Axis and Allies tanks are in there. Okay, and a few roundels just to help you out. So that is that. And then, lastly, from Historical Board Gaming, they carry these. Got some Romanian infantry at the 1/72nd scale. And these snap together. This is what you'll be getting. Okay, they snap together. They you don't need any glue. Okay, so. And they paint very well, is what I've been told. Well, it says easy to paint over there. So, that is the other gift. Now, you might say, yeah, you know what? I really want all these pieces. I don't want to hunt through, and somebody else can have the $100. But I will leave that up to you. Okay? But for right now, I am just going to make sure I post this video, and then I am going to roll out, and you can decide how you're going to do on this. And as we always say here, the Hilltop Pillbox, we're so grateful for everybody's support and all the questions and ideas that you've given me over the years. And we hope that you still enjoy the content that we're putting out. Make sure you hug your loved ones, thank your friends for playing, and may those dice be with you. Well, how did I forget? Well, here it is. This is the due date for your guess is September 14th at 12 p.m. That's noon Pacific Daylight Time. Okay, so you have 2 weeks from the time I'm filming this, which means hopefully you'll see this video within the hour, and you'll have 2 weeks to really mull over who do you think will win this grand North African battle. Stay tuned, and good luck.